Welcome everyone to the Nerd Nook. I'm your host Evan Teagle, with me like always is Noah Bailey. So we have a lot to talk about, even though it's only been like 3 days since our last podcast. Please, at the time of recording this, and possibly the most exciting thing to happen in the past few days was the new Mandalorian trailer, which I have not seen.
You haven't seen it?
I don't need to.
What is that? What do you mean?
Like, I think I've gotten to the point in my life where, like, if I know for certain I'm going to experience something, I don't need to see a trailer. Especially if this trailer had come out last month, I probably would have watched it. But because we're a month out from it launching, I don't really feel like I need to be spoiled on anything. Like, I'm good. Like, I know for a fact I'm going to watch it. So, you can still, like, give your thoughts on it. I just say I didn't watch it.
No, I mean, I don't want to say anything because it's like, I feel bad. But no, it's like, I see your reason. You want to go in, like, completely cold, completely, like, because, again, yeah, like you said, you're going to watch it anyway. It's The Mandalorian. It's going to look awesome. Mm-hmm. But, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I feel like I see the logic, and, like, people do this with, like, movies and stuff, and, like, everyone knows they're going to see, but, like, I don't know. For me, it's like I gotta get something. It's like not that I was like gonna be like discouraged by it unless it just wasn't the show.
But I mean,
like,
I've seen some gifs on Twitter and stuff of Baby Yoda being cute. So like, I'm good. That's all I need.
Yeah. It's like, is he still a Mandalorian? Yep. They still got Baby Yoda? Yep. I'm sold.
Yeah.
Like, that's all you need. Mm-hmm. There's some cool stuff. That it was. I don't know. I'm not. See, I feel like I can't say. I'm not going to say anything. It's okay. It's great. Like,
I kind of feel like, especially when it comes to The Mandalorian, I feel like watching the trailers, not that it's worthless, but I feel like trailers for this show are, especially after just how successful the first season was, where they showed almost, it felt like they showed a lot, but they didn't even show the main plot with the Baby Yoda stuff. They didn't even show any of that in the original trailers.
Mm-hmm.
And like all the best stuff, like most of the best stuff they didn't even show. So I feel like anything that they do have in their back pocket, they're just not going to show. They're going to show a bunch of cool stuff kind of around it or tangentially related to it, but they're not like, I don't know. Maybe that's actually a point against me not watching it because it doesn't matter. But whatever.
Yeah. But I mean, I see your point, and also too, trailers like with movies and TV shows have a tendency, everything's out of context. Yeah. So like someone might say something, but what they're showing you doesn't match when it's being said or something, so you just get misdirected and all that stuff. But then something might happen, so you're thinking about, oh, when is this going to happen? Yeah. So like maybe it is better just to kind of.
Yeah, I think that's. Oh, what movie was it? I think it was Black Panther. I was waiting because they don't actually have the scene of Okoye shouting "Wakanda forever." They don't actually have that in the movie, and I remember sitting in the theater waiting for that scene the entire time, and it just never happened. If I remember correctly, it was either that or there was some Marvel movie where there was like a poignant line that was in every single trailer that just wasn't in the movie.
That probably, yeah. Stuff like that does happen, too. And, like, obviously, there's, like, the Hulk Infinity War thing and stuff like that. That's just, like, trailers are kind of just, out of context, random clips that may or may not be edited with, throughout things. And I feel like it's different for, like, movies than games. Because, like, with video games, it's, like, it's still... Especially if it's, like, a gameplay trailer. Like, it's still in the game. Like, maybe it's that context. But, like... Yeah, with movies, it can be, taken out and that line's not in there, or like even a whole, character, like literally just like in one way or another, it's not in it. So I mean, yeah, I see your reason.
Yeah. And there have been other times when, like, there's a line in the trailer and it sounds kind of cool or interesting, and then when it actually shows up in the movie, the context makes it worse. Like in BVS, where like Wonder Woman shows up and Batman's like, oh, Superman's like, is she with you? And Batman's like, I thought she was with you. That line only existed for the trailer. it made no sense in context. And then they just started fighting Doomsday. Like, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
odd.
that was
Like,
a good point.
she didn't have any rebuttal to that. Like, she just wants to fight. Like, it would have been funny if she was like, I'm just here by myself. Like, just no, nothing. Just, I thought she was with you. Start the fight. Like, okay, whatever. Anyway.
Yeah, like, okay, here we go. Like, this is just happening. Yeah, you got a point there. But, yeah, I don't know. I guess just for me, it's like, something. Like, and not that, like, you didn't think it was coming. Like, you knew the show was coming, but it's just kind of like, just an update, a progress report, kind of just, I don't know, it looks cool. It's something to get excited about, whether it's in context or not, something cool is going to happen. It's like, oh, did you see that, like, what he did? Or, oh, did you see that? Like, it's just like, anything just to up the hype.
Yeah. But all the people in the comment sections of the like I said, I haven't actually watched the trailer, but I like stalking comments. So of the Twitter post where it was on the official Mandalorian page, everyone was like, "Where's Ahsoka? Why aren't you showing Ahsoka? Ahsoka better be in the next trailer." I'm like, why does it matter if we see her in the trailer if you already know she exists and it's coming out next month? Why do you need this now? I don't understand
because she's important and we love her.
But I understand that.
Patient.
But we wouldn't know she would be in the movie unless it was leaked that Rosario Dawson's probably playing her. So, like, I have a feeling Ahsoka might have originally been the Baby Yoda of that season, where like they don't tell us that she's going to be in it at all. Then, like, episode 3, she just kind of shows up, and it's supposed to be a huge deal, but because it was leaked. I don't know.
Yeah, and that's probably true. But at the same time, I mean, you know how fans are.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
we want what we want. Like,
Yeah.
It can't. I don't know. Like, it's logic and reason is kind of put to the wayside. It's kind of like, show us what we want to see. We're still gonna watch it anyway. We're not actually mad, but like,
yeah,
we'll see what happens.
And like, there was
and you're right. You probably will just kind of show up.
There was I saw this one screenshot of this one kind of hooded lady, kind of shrouded in the background of one shot. And everyone's like, "Is that Ahsoka? She looks so good." Like, that's not Ahsoka. That's just not Ahsoka. I didn't even see the trailer. I know that's not Ahsoka. She doesn't have tentacle. Like, she's not. What are you doing? Whatever.
Like, what? No, what is that? Man, I'll tell you though. I'm excited. It's been I feel like there has been kind of a hole, like, for shows to watch. At least for me, I haven't watched a lot lately. Yeah, ever since like Avatar ended, like, I kind of haven't watched too much. Yeah. So, kind of excited.
I've been meaning to maybe watch The Boys on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of those shows where, like, or one of those concepts where it's, what if Superman was evil? And, like,
yeah,
we've seen that before, but this, I don't know, everything I've seen from season 2 looks like it's actually kind of interesting, and I might get around to it eventually, but that's like the one show that's currently on right now that I feel like I am maybe interested in, but I don't know.
Yeah, I've heard about that too, and like I've seen like these like polls and debates on like the internet where it's like the Justice League versus, I guess I forgot what they're called, the Seven, I think they're called. No. Which I'm kind of like, okay, they can like if we're even having this conversation, maybe I should check this show out, because just cool superpowers are cool to see. Like, I doubt it, but I still want to see it.
Like, that's another kind of issue I have with the Seven. They are a direct analog to the Justice League. There's a guy that's super fast, super strong, that has laser vision. There's basically an Amazon. There's a fast boy. There's a guy all dressed in black who's good at martial arts. Like, it's very obvious. A water guy who talks to fish. And he's lame, so it's funny. Like, I don't know. That's even though whatever.
I mean, it might be worth at least checking out. I think I might check. I mean,
I have Amazon Prime, so I might as well.
Yeah, I do.
Do it at some point. But, so yeah, I don't know. Maybe I should, because I want to get involved in these conversations just to tell them why they're wrong. But I feel like, because obviously Superman would destroy Homelander. Like, I haven't even seen the show, and I know that for a fact. Like, come on.
Like, I don't care what your argument is.
You're like, he's
It
more
doesn't.
ruthless. Yeah, but he's Superman. Like,
But I want to. I might check it out. I might see. Because again, we love superheroes,
yeah.
whether they're based on comics or just made up
I
for
think this
the
has a
TV
graphic
show.
novel or something that was kind of like early 2010s, I think, and got adapted. So it at least has some at least somewhat popular source material. So
Ooh,
yeah.
okay then.
But yeah, the Mandalorian is. I might watch The Boys, but the Mandalorian I'm 100% watching.
Oh yeah, no, without question.
So moving on to Marvel stuff. Do you know anything about Kang the Conqueror?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, he has been reported to be the villain in Ant-Man 3.
Kang the Conqueror. Okay,
Yeah.
what can you tell me about this
So, I didn't know this character
character?
existed before he was announced to be in this movie. From what I gathered from all the nerds on Twitter, essentially, he he's like this. He what I gather, he has a very similar story to Professor Zoom, where he came from the future. I think this guy is from the 31st century. He came from the future here to try to stop time anomalies or create them himself so that his future can happen, that type of thing. Um,
Hmm.
and in some continuities, King the Conqueror is Reed Richards like 10 grands, child.
Interesting.
Sometimes he's related to Doctor Doom. Sometimes he's like a kind of either related to or a kind of Iron Lad turned evil from the future. Like it's, I don't know. Apparently he's been around so long that he has many different iterations, but I'd never heard of him before.
Hmm.
So the fact that Kang the Conqueror, who apparently is someone who is really focused on time anomalies, is going to show up in Ant-Man 3, I think makes a lot of sense considering it was Ant-Man's technology that caused
Hmm.
time travel to happen in
Right.
Endgame.
Right.
So
It makes sense.
that's cool.
That's the next logical step, I guess, because we've kind of done the whole. We get it, shrinking technology. Like
Mm-hmm.
we've done it twice now, and now it's like, okay, this is kind of more, I guess, adding to the expanding
Yeah.
the universe because obviously you have time travel, but now it's like time travel villain. So
Mm-hmm.
okay, it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah. Um,
Is that
I
when
have
is
a
Ant Man 3? Is
what?
that even like does that have a date yet, or is that like
It was originally going to come out in 2022. I don't know if that's still happening. I don't.
yeah?
With everything going on, I don't know when Black Widow might get delayed. We don't know.
No.
um, I have a strong feeling because all the people in the comment section when this was announced were like, "How dare they waste this next great villain on just a single movie?" And I'm like, I have a feeling that Kang will either be working with someone or like kind of be in the shadows while this other villain is really in the works, and Kang will like really show up in the after credits scene. Or even if he is like the main villain, it easily could be a Loki situation where he's the main villain of one movie, and they kind of stop him, but they don't defeat him per se,
Mhm.
and then he can still kick around for Avengers stuff after that. Like they can make it
Who
work.
knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, again, if he turns out to be an awesome villain, maybe they'll keep him around. Like,
Yeah.
or maybe they won't, or who knows? Like,
Yeah, I
I
was
don't know. Yeah.
kind of hoping Ant-Man 3 would be the one that introduced MODOK into this universe, since, uh, since AIM has already been established in Iron Man 3, and yes, their leader was taken out, but I have a feeling they're still just kind of around,
Yeah.
and I feel like I think Hank Pym kind of has beef with AIM in the comics, so I think that could have been a nice parallel there. So
Okay.
it I don't know, I was kind of hoping for MODOK to show up there, but they have time to do it.
Yeah. And again, and like if that, if Iron Man 3 did kind of bury that, it's like it has been a while
Yeah.
since then, so they could find a way to like, oh yeah, we'll just, it's been enough time to either rehash or rebuild or whatever they want to do with
Yeah.
that.
Or even just do a thing where it's not AIM who creates them, it's just some other evil tech corporation. Like it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't have to be AIM. People will be mad because it's not comic book accurate, but I don't care. Just, like whatever
Yeah.
means to the end, this character gets created. That's all I care about. Like,
Yeah, and like it all is done well. If they do, make it up or go off script
mm,
theoretically or off source material, like they'll be okay. This was done well.
yeah,
It's not like it's the first time something hasn't been, done right along with the comics in the
mm.
MCU movie. And it probably won't be the last.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And until then, we have MODOK being the main villain in the Avengers game. Yeah, yeah.
Why
That's
do we
out.
not like? Why is no one excited? I don't understand. Like,
It was one
I
of it. It was one of
just
those
doesn't.
games that was like stupidly hyped for years, and it's out now. It's here.
And like, we don't care. Like, why don't
Why
I
don't I
care?
care about this video game? Why I
I
don't
don't
get
understand why I
it.
don't care. Like, I think it's because they missed the. I think they missed the window too hard. Because
Yeah,
it's like, like not that Marvel movies, like not by any means that Marvel movies or the Avengers like not popular anymore, but it's like I feel like the hype was like if this had been anywhere from like 2015, 16 to like even like last year,
yeah,
probably would have like done great. But
yeah.
I
If it
think
was
because
holiday
it's
2019, it would have been fine. Like that was the latest you could release it to still be in the
right.
Avengers hype window. But
Yeah, now it's kind of like the Avengers hype's kind of because it's been like movies in general aren't really coming out, and I know Black Widow is trying to still
trying to
do
come out.
something this year, but I mean, yeah, it feels like the Avengers hype is just kind of gone, and like yeah, no one's really talking about this game, and also there was like talk of like things about it that weren't great, or like things
Yeah,
didn't look right, or the
Black
story's
Widow
not
still
that
looks
great.
weird. Iron Man
Yeah,
looks a little too blocky. Hulk is weirdly proportioned. Like I don't know. I feel like it shouldn't be hard to make characters look like the characters. Like I don't know. Maybe it is because they were going with a more realistic setting, and they for most of the human characters they mocapped them. Uh, so they made Laura Bailey who voiced her. They essentially I think they mocapped her so that Black Widow is based on her, but like that doesn't even look like Laura Bailey, so I don't know what. Like I've seen Laura Bailey also I think also voiced Abby in Last of Us 2, and like they don't look the same, even though Laura Bailey was also mocap for Abby. So like why don't they at least look similar? I don't know.
uh, mm, I don't know. I mean, and that's one of those things where it's like you feel like there are a lot of good ways to do this, but you don't.
Mm,
You kind of forget there's also a lot of bad ways to do it.
yeah.
And I think kind of just because not like the and again, not that saying it had to be like a movie game or anything, because those are rarely very good, but
Hmm.
it's one of those things where it's kind of like it feels like off-brand Avengers, kind of, just
Yeah.
because it's not really the ones in the movie. At least to me, that's kind of the vibe I get.
Hmm.
Not that like obviously comics and stuff is obviously bigger than the movies in terms of like like how long it's been
Yeah.
around, but like
It also could maybe be because the main character. Like I like Miss Marvel. I think she's a fine character, and I have nothing against her at all. But I feel like maybe making Miss Marvel the main character of this game might have not been the right decision, just from a
yeah,
marketing perspective. Like late into the production, like late into the campaign of this game, they just kind of announced, "Oh yeah, Miss Marvel is more or less the main character," and everyone is like, "Wait, I thought Iron Man or Thor or whatever." But not like,
yeah,
and like they're still around. They're still there for the majority of the game, but it's just this character who isn't associated with the Avengers normally She's an Inhuman who like is on the Avengers at times, like especially the new Avengers, but she's not a core Avenger. I feel like that kind of made people, for multiple reasons, but I'm just gonna touch on the like they wanted to play as the Avengers, and this other character isn't the ones they were expecting to play as. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's not really a main Avenger, and for a lot of people, Marvel isn't really super known except lately. So like, it kind of feels, because it's like like obviously, Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, like those are the main guys that pretty much everyone's like expecting, or like that's who you think of when you say hear Avengers in general. Yeah. So it's kind of like. And I understand, like I think like Captain America dies or something at the beginning, but doesn't. I think, but back. But I mean, who saw that coming? But I mean, like,
yeah, they do every single cliche superhero trope. Like, the heroes are celebrated, but then one cataclysmic event happened, and all of humanity lost faith against them. So the team broke up, and then this new evil rises up, and now they have to band back together to both defeat the new villain and also avenge their fallen hero. But wait, the fallen hero isn't actually dead. He's still kicking around. It's the whole mission to go save him in space, or I think he's in space for some reason. So like, they go to space. That's also what. Of
course.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I might watch this. I might like watch someone else play this game on YouTube or something.
I'm absolutely at some point gonna find someone that someone that like there's at least a couple of people that like I just kind of periodically, if there's a big game, like they're probably streaming it, so I go to their stream, but I just haven't gotten around to it because I don't really care.
Right? It feels so weird, especially now with nothing to do. It's kind of like obviously still like jobs and school and stuff, but like it's like
I don't know. Yeah. Oh well. Now something that I am looking forward to. WandaVision has been reconfirmed for 2020, according to a Disney Plus winter montage compilation thingy.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're getting it in the next 3 months.
Apparently.
Okay.
In this montage, they had stuff, Mandalorian, all the new movies coming this fall and holiday, and there was a couple of shots of WandaVision sprinkled in there, so it seemingly reconfirmed it.
Okay. Well, we'll have to see. I guess I don't know. I hear that, but man, it feels kind of. I mean, it is already mid-September at this point, so I'm kind of like, okay.
Falcon Winter Soldier is definitely not happening this year. I think.
No. I mean, and I know like they have a lot of like Disney Plus has a lot going on right now already, so like. It like again, I don't think I'd be like upset if they don't, considering all the circumstances. But like, if they really think they can squeeze it in there, then I mean,
sure.
All right, go for it.
Yeah, Mandalorian in October, November, and then WandaVision late November, December. Sure.
Yeah, theoretically, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe the first episode's Christmas themed. Who knows?
Could be. So, speaking of Disney Plus shows, She-Hulk has officially been cast to be played by a woman named Tatiana Maslany, who is a Canadian actress who apparently, I think it was, what was the show called? Orphan Black?
Orphan Black,
yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Tatiana.
Go
ahead.
I've never had an experience with anything she's been in, but apparently a lot of people in the comment sections were like freaking out that this was a great decision. So like, okay, sure.
Okay. Yeah, she looks familiar, but I don't think
the reason she looks familiar. You want to know why she looks familiar? Because
why?
A couple of months ago, some PR person at Disney said that they wanted an Alison Brie type character, or Alison Brie type actress to play She-Hulk. They picked someone who looked so close to Alison Brie, but wasn't Alison Brie.
That's actually crazy.
And like Alison Brie was on a talk show one time, like, and the interview asked her like, So She-Hulk Marvel's looking for an Allison Brie type. Do you think you could play Allison Brie type? She's like, I think so. They haven't asked me yet, but I think I
Well,
could.
if I get into character, I could probably pull it off.
Like
Anything's possible.
not to downplay this actress, but like it's so weird that they picked someone who looked so similar to Allison.
Interesting.
Like they're almost the same height. They're the same age. Like it's weird.
They're the same age, even?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh,
30,
yeah.
31 something.
Probably. Let's see. I'm trying to see anything. I don't think I've seen anything she's in. No, I don't think so. Let's see TV. Oh, Flashpoint. Okay, that one. I think I've seen one show she may have been in, but
Okay.
I don't even think. Yeah, no, not really any. Oh, are they making a new Perry Mason show?
Apparently.
What? My mom loves that show. I watch that all the time. But anyway, sorry, that was completely off topic. But wow, okay. But yeah, if the fans like it, sure.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
some people complain that she's not big enough for the role. They should have gotten the woman, I keep forgetting her name, the one that plays Cara Dune in Mandalorian.
Oh, yeah, I forget her name. Oh,
and gosh. People seem to forget that the point of Hulk or Hulk characters is that the base form isn't Hulk.
Yeah.
Right?
What, do you want to replace Mark Ruffalo with John Cena? Like, how does that doesn't really...
What's the point of going Hulk if you're already Hulk?
Right, you're already huge. Why would you go on Hulk? Like, especially if they're gonna like CGI, like, which I assume they're gonna do for or something like that. Like, it's not gonna be. It doesn't matter. Like,
and I can never remember She-Hulk's human name, but She-Hulk's human name is actually like pretty short as it is. So like, getting a 5'4" actress isn't that strange. I don't know. People are weird with. People have this like ideal cast in their head, and then with anything that doesn't fit exactly that, like they should have gone with the person I wanted them to go with, and I'm like, there are other actresses out there. Like,
yeah, like
it's so
you'll
dumb.
be okay.
Like, almost every single movie, reboot, show adaptation, whatever, that has a male, that like stars a male teen, they're like, Tom Holland should play that. Tom Holland should play Ben 10. Tom Holland should play ball. Like, it's always Tom Holland.
Okay, to be fair, some of those like Tom Holland could be interesting as Ben 10. I think
but there are other actors.
Yeah, like, this is also true. Everyone just likes Tom Holland. They just want him to be in stuff.
That's fair.
Like, yeah, but no, I get your point. Or it's like, it's like, oh, I hate this casting. I haven't even seen it, and like them at all getting character for the role or anything. It just was announced 2 seconds ago, but I hate it, and now I think this movie's going to be terrible.
Pattinson, why would they pick vampire Sparkly Boy to do it, and then he looks fine?
His one like movie series, which granted that's probably his most famous thing, but still, it's like
that was like his first major role, but he's done some pretty good stuff since then. But
and also like the whole point of being an actor is you can change how you look, like, and how you act. Like, it's not gonna be him playing his character from Twilight. Like, it's obviously he's gonna be doing something else. Like, I don't know. Or like, everyone's like, oh, Heath Ledger. What? They got the guy from A Knight's Tale to play the Joker? That'll never work. And then boom, Oscar. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like,
same thing with Michael Keaton. He was the comedic actor before playing Batman.
Exactly.
And he was great as Batman.
Exactly. Like, and that's the thing. It's like, dude, they're actors. They can do more than just the one thing that you know them for. It. That's just their most famous thing. Doesn't mean it's their only thing.
Yeah.
But I like, that's my thing. I'm like, until I see it, I don't want to like. Obviously, if I think a casting's not great, I'm like, okay, that's one thing. But it's like, I'm not gonna say this is gonna be terrible until I see how it's done.
Yeah. In
the movie or the show or whatever. It's like, because you can mix it up. We'll see how it's done. It's all about acting.
Like, when Deadpool 2 officially cast, I'm blanking on his name. Who played
Josh Brolin.
Josh Brolin as Cable. Like, yeah, in my head I wanted someone who was taller, since Cable is an imposing figure. but I also knew that Josh Brolin was a fantastic actor,
Yeah.
and like his voice especially fit the character. So like, I didn't care, and also I knew that the movie would make fun of that, and it did.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's like, especially like with Deadpool, it's a movie where it's like the whole thing's a joke. Like it's
Yeah.
crazy, but it's a joke. Like you can't take it that seriously.
Well, what was the joke? They were like, "Okay, this is the guy we're going after, Cable. He's 5'11". He looks a lot. Usually, he looks a lot taller, but really, he's only 5'11". So just
Roast. Oh, you're so dark. You're sure you're not from the DC universe. And it's like all this like, oh man, dude, Deadpool is a great movie. Both of them.
people hate the second one for some reason, but I like it a lot.
Why hate
I don't
it?
know.
Like, I don't. It's not that. It's funny. Like they're both funny.
Both
I think
hilarious.
because I think it like suffered from not being the first. Because like
Yeah,
Deadpool was like the first movie like it ever really. So it's like now when you do kind of the similar formula for Deadpool 2, it's kind of hard to build off of that because it's
yeah,
like, well, it's the same, but it's like it's still good. Like it's
yeah.
not
Same thing with
bad because
Guardians
it's
too. Like the first Guardians was the first funny superhero movie, even though all the Avengers movies have been all the Marvel movies have at least been light comedies at most.
right.
Like I mean, even Winter Soldier was still had its funny moments. So being a funny superhero movie is definitely breaking new ground. But whatever, people like you loved it for that reason. And then when Guardians 2 came out, everyone hated it for reasons I can't understand. Because it's not the first one, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know. It's one of the I don't know. People can't be pleased sometimes. That's just
Mm,
what you got to accept, unfortunately.
yeah. Oh well. Um, so moving on to a little bit of DC stuff. So I didn't know this was happening, but this is actually pretty interesting. On October 13th, a Batman Death in the Family movie is going to be released to DVD. It's going to be animated.
Mhm.
The reason why this is interesting is because it's apparently going to be an interactive movie.
Right.
Yeah. So while you're watching it, you can like you are you essentially like playing as Batman and like you can stop. Hang on, you can essentially there's gonna be multiple endings and like depending on how you play the movie, Robin doesn't die. I guess.
Yeah, it's like apparently it's kind of like those Telltale games
Mm.
where it's like you make decisions and that you watch, it changes the movie based on what you decide. Because like apparently you can decide to, save Robin in time or not or all this stuff and like theoretically there's a way to play it that the movie's the exact same as it
Mm.
already was, but there's also totally different. You probably have to do it multiple times to see all the potential outcomes. More well, I don't know why. I said probably you will, but like
Yeah,
yeah,
that's that's really cool.
interesting. I think that's interesting. I've never seen
Yeah.
anything like that. I think it's a little. I guess a little less enticing considering they're using it based on. I think it's still like the Under the Red Hood movie, and then other parts they've made because again, like not that that's a great movie, but
Wait,
I
wait.
feel like if it was a different.
Are the because Under the Red Hood just started with Jason Todd already being dead
Right,
or
he paid,
got
yeah, he
killed.
like pans with like Batman running to the
Mm.
abandoned place or wherever, and then the place just blows up with Jason in it,
So is it
presumably.
is it an
So
all new movie that like leads up to that, or is it that
I'm not
movie?
entirely sure. It was a little. The trailer was a little unclear, but I think it's kind of. I think maybe it's there or a little before that point,
Mm-hmm.
and then it kind of goes from there based on decisions
Huh.
you make. So like he can potentially still be Robin if you save him, or he can be like because there's a couple of ways that goes. But I forgot how it went in the trailer, but it was like it was interesting. Like I remember seeing it. And I was like because I've never seen like a movie really do
Yeah,
this,
I've
but
growing up I had these choose your own adventure style Transformers books where it's like if you if you want to dodge this attack, Or if you want to like, if you think the Autobot should go right, yeah, we'll do that one. If you think the Autobot should go right down this road, go to page 12. If you think they should go left, go to page 24. If you go right, the story kind of progresses from there. But if you go to page 24, all the Autobots had their treads had their tires popped when the Decepticons sabotaged them by putting nails on the road, so it's over.
Right.
Or like something horrible happens and like that's the end. So then you have to go back to that page and like try to get a good ending from there. Like that's I really dig stuff like that growing up. So having a movie that's a choose your own adventure is interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of cool here too, also because here it seems like it does kind of start before the original movie starts. So like there's like backstory to why Batman and Robin are he's in like this factory in the middle of nowhere. They're chasing the Joker, all this stuff, which is kind of cool. And also like there seems to be a lot after because like there's like potentially Red Robin, where like I think Jason's Red Robin. Maybe I'm not totally sure about that, but like.
Okay.
Which I don't know. Maybe that's if you save him or something, and there's more with like Two-Face and stuff like that apparently. But it looks interesting.
Yeah.
But like there's obviously scenes from the original movie probably touched up, so it kind of just depends on your choices. But there's probably like maybe 2 to 3 movies in here.
Okay, and that's good because I Under the Red Hood is probably I'd say maybe top 3 favorite Batman animated movies.
Probably, yeah. It's up there. It's really good.
Well,
so,
not counting Mask of the Phantasm. I don't know. I don't know. That's ooh.
We'll make a list.
Yeah, we should make a list at some point. But like that movie is very good. But like these other movies have the advantage over it because they're newer and just look better. But Mask of the Phantasm is a better movie, I think. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, like the writing and the story, I think is there. But I think because it's it was made in the '90s versus 2000s or 2010s, it's kind of just it's kind of like the Star Wars. It's like obviously. The originals have, I think, the best story. I think we can all agree on that. But like, it doesn't look as cool as some of these lightsaber fights in 2000, the 2000s, and even if they don't make sense. But
whatever.
but
so yeah, that's actually pretty interesting.
I think it's cool. I wonder if this will set a trend for movies in general to kind of do this because like, initially I saw this and was kind of like, what? No, but now that I kind of see, I don't know, and I'm reading the description under the YouTube video, and apparently it looks like it says 5 fascinating tales, so potentially there's 5 different stories.
Okay.
Maybe between all the combinations, there's probably multiple times you can.
Yeah, probably
Yeah,
5 different unique endings. There might be like different ways to get there, but there's at least 5 different endings.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah,
one guy put in the comments, Batman saves Robin. Credits roll. It's like, no, I think it'll be more complicated than that. But no, I think it'll be pretty interesting. I was kind of skeptical at first, but now I kind of want to see what the other. There's probably going to be that YouTube video that's like all the different endings or something. Yeah. So that's probably going to be what I check out.
So, an easy way to view this movie would have potentially been to view it on DC Universe. Unfortunately, at some point next year, DC Universe, as we know it right now, will be shutting down and changing to DC Universe Infinite, which will be only a comics streaming site where you can only read comics and stuff through it. And then all of the exclusive content and movies and other stuff that is on there are going to be moving to HBO Max.
Why didn't they just do that in the first place?
I don't know. That makes so much sense, doesn't it?
Why would you do that? You just make like I know like there's maybe the money reason because like it's scummy, but again financially I see it. But the thing is like you knew you were because again, HBO Max already has a bunch of like Batman and Justice League movies and shows on there anyway,
Yep.
which is kind of like, so why do you have these? But then you have a whole nother DC streaming service, which costs its own separate amount and all this, where I think costs more than no, actually HBO Max.
I think DC Universe was $8 a month maybe. So it
But
wasn't
like
bad, but like it's not worth more than Disney Plus, which
yeah,
is 7. So,
but like okay, but my thing is kind of like okay, these came out about the same time, right? Like it hasn't been that long of a
DC
difference.
Universe I think was 2018, and then HBO Max came out earlier this year. But like HBO Max had to have been in development at the same time. Like,
That's what I'm saying. Like
yeah.
you, like it's not like I'm not saying they came out necessarily, but like you had like there had to be some overlap in development here. Like there's no way they literally finished DC Universe was like, you know what? Let's do this again, but bigger.
Yeah, and then
not
be
include
surprised when DC Universe starts flopping because all of the content, all the good content that should be on there is actually on HBO Max. Like Wonder Woman and the Dark Knight trilogy, they're not on DC Universe, even though they're DC movies, but they are on HBO Max. So like, why have two services?
How? I don't even understand how you do that. At least have them on both. Like I don't even understand that.
Yeah,
Like
it would be
makes
like
no sense.
if Disney had a Star Wars streaming service where you could read the graphic novels and like a bunch of other stuff on there, and they
Clone
had
Wars.
let's say they had the original, like all 9 movies plus Rogue One and Solo, but then they had the Clone Wars stuff be on Disney Plus. Like why have
Right?
this Star Wars service if you're not gonna put the new Star Wars content on the Star Wars service?
That doesn't make any sense. I don't know who's making these decisions, man, but this is so dumb. Like I don't understand this. It's like you basically did the same thing twice, and then you're like gonna just merge it together. It's like you could have just made one big one. Why did you?
Yeah,
I don't know.
and I personally felt like DC Universe was worth it just for Young Justice existing. Like, you pay for it in the months that you want to watch Young Justice, and you sign off. It come back for Harley Quinn or whatever, and you sign off. Which Harley Quinn also got renewed for a 3rd season as well. So like both
Nice.
Young Justice season 4 and Harley Quinn are moving to HBO Max.
Of course.
So I don't know. That's confusing, weird, and bad. I've always felt weird about both streaming services, honestly. But I guess knowing that the DC content is all gonna be on HBO Max makes that service more enticing.
Yeah.
That's
Like
the
it makes me
reason.
care more about HBO Max. Cause I was kind of like, oh, they have some things, but like nothing super I wanted. But now it's like, okay, you add this DC universe and make it feels more, like I want to watch it. Like it makes more sense.
Mm-hmm.
But still, like, yeah, just so you said, how long is it gonna be until this happens? This
I
merger
think sometime
thing?
next year.
Okay, which I feel like they could just do that now. Honestly, I don't know
Yeah.
why they. But well, here's my thing: are they gonna give the DC Universe customers HBO Max for free?
Oh, absolutely not.
Exactly, and that's why I'm kind of like, what the heck? Like,
They should.
That's my whole.
Or at least not like a
They
discounted price
they
or
should.
something.
They totally should. I mean, they're literally consolidating 2 different streaming services, and
Yeah.
it's kind of like your membership means nothing. Now you must buy this one.
I have a
Like,
feeling that DC Universe Infinite is still going to be $8, and like if you just forget to cancel your credit card for HBO,
oh, absolutely.
for DC Universe, then you'll just continue to have the comics part of it, but nothing else.
Yep.
Okay.
Which is so messed up. Like, I don't understand this because it's like we're just gonna. Yeah, that's not customer friendly at all. But
No.
I'm sure that's not probably their priority. I don't know. Companies these days don't really care anymore.
Yeah. Like one really good thing about DC Universe is, for the longest time, I've had to pirate all the animated DC movies, just because I'm not going to the store and buying a movie now. I can't do it. I don't know. It's one thing to own a video game that's cost $60. Like, I don't know. There's something to me that's more valuable than owning a physical copy of a game. But like,
Right.
I don't know. There's something about buying a movie that just doesn't. I haven't bought a physical movie in like probably 5 years. If
Yeah,
even
and
more.
honestly,
I just don't.
I mean, you really don't. I mean, you don't really need to anymore. I
Yeah.
mean, for the price of buying like a movie, you can buy a whole streaming service subscription per
Exactly.
month. So
So
like,
so having Batman Hush and Apocalypse Dark and all that on DC Universe was very nice. Like, even if I wasn't super interested in the movies anyway, which I was, if I wasn't actually interested in watching the movies, they're just on the front page. They're like, "Oh, it's here. Might as well watch it." Like, okay, sure.
right? But it's like, like when they come out, they're like $20 on Blu-ray, and I'm like, I'm not gonna pay $20 for one. And like my thing too is like, back to your video game point. If I buy a video game for $60, the amount of hours I'm getting on that out of that video game is a much more than the amount of hours I'm getting out on like a $20 movie. Like, I'm watching this movie a couple of times, but like the first time I watch it, I might watch it 2 times the first week I buy it, then maybe like once a month after that.
Yeah.
If I really like the movie.
Yeah.
But like,
so like over time, over your entire life, you might get 10 hours out of the movie. Assuming it's a 2-hour movie, you might watch it
Right.
5, maybe 10 times max over your entire life. Whereas a video game, you're playing for at least 8 hours, like to get
Yeah.
to at least the main story, and then multiplayer, other playthroughs,
Right.
like harder difficulty.
and like these days, you've got like bundle games too, where like I bought an Assassin's Creed game for $20. I got 3 games. I'm still on the first one. I got like 30 hours in. Like,
What 3 games? Was it 1, 2, and
it's
3? Was it?
it's 2 Brotherhood, and I think Revelation was the other one.
Okay.
I'm not sure about the last one, but so far I'm just on 2, and I love it. Like, I'm killing. Like, you know what I'm saying? And like, that was $20, and I'm only like, I've already feel like I got my money's worth. I haven't even played the other 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
So like, versus if I bought a $20 movie, I would have probably watched it twice, and then okay, that's the end of it. And like, and DVDs are kind of, I mean, not just DVDs, but like buying movies in general is just kind of, I feel like it's just kind of dying, because like,
Yeah.
you don't need to. Like, if a streaming service was maybe like $50 a month, then yeah, I would probably still buy movies. But like, no, like if the price of buying a movie is the same for a monthly subscription to all these movies, why would I just take the one movie? That's like paying, it's like paying the same price for a buffet versus one meal. It's like, and I can come back to the buffet all week also. Like, it's like, it's kind of like, that just, come on, that's just not smart. Like, why would I do that?
Yeah. So yeah, that's gonna be interesting. I don't want to get HBO Max. I don't want another streaming service, but I really want to see the next season of Harley Quinn and Young Justice.
Right? And like, I want to support it too, because it's like, especially Young Justice, because like, I feel like, like, I rarely say this because like, I am like a big pirate with stuff.
Yeah.
But like, it's also like, I really want to support Young Justice kind of, so I kind of do want to get. But my thing too is like, I don't know, some of these other streamings are lately, like Hulu specifically, lately, I feel like I haven't watched anything on Hulu in a long time.
I mainly just have that just for Spotify.
Exactly. I'm still renewing my student account and hoping they don't, check the numbers once the graduation comes. But yeah, it's like, I kind of just pay for Spotify. I also have Hulu, but I really don't.
And Showtime.
Yeah, and shows are right. Exactly. I want someone like, okay, like for the viewers, if you have a show you watch in Showtime, which I don't think you do, but if you do, please comment it, because I've looked at Showtime many a times, and like, I've never been so bored browsing. Just
Yeah.
Nothing was
I've
enticing.
never seen a YouTube ad for Showtime, which is crazy. I see stuff for
Yes.
Stars. I see stuff for Netflix. I see Amazon Prime, Hulu, even.
Sling TV,
Sling,
even
yeah.
like everything.
What is Sling TV?
I don't know. Apparently, my friend has it. I don't even know what it is.
Okay. But no, I've never seen a Showtime ad.
Showtime. I don't know what's on Showtime. Like I have
I don't
no
even
idea.
care enough
But
to Google what is on Showtime. I just know I
let
have
me
it
see.
and have the option of watching it if I ever. I've literally only used it 2 times because the first few Terminator movies are on there, and I was like, it's a decent enough player, might as well watch it here because they weren't on Netflix anymore. So like, well, they're here, so I have it, so might as well watch it. But that's the
Right? But
only. I haven't been
still.
back since.
No, I mean, I literally like. I remember I found out that I had Showtime. I was like, "Oh, cool! I have this whole other service I have." Downloaded the app on my phone, and then I remember I was in between classes. I was in the hallway just waiting in between classes. I'm just scrolling. I'm like, "All right, I got Showtime. What do we got?"
Well,
Okay.
what do we got? What do we?
I I don't even know. It was just a bunch of stuff that I'm not interested or like never heard of.
Mm,
Which, I haven't seen anything, but it's like the only things up here I've actually seen that I've actually heard of is there's okay, Shameless, which brother loves that show.
okay.
I think Dexter's on here, but I think Dexter's also on Netflix,
At least used to be, yeah.
which I don't know if it's still on there, but it used to be. And other, I don't know, like most, like I've never even heard of most of these shows. I don't even know I don't know what any of these shows are. Something with Benedict Cumberbatch, that's something, but
Okay.
I guess, but I don't even. Oh, that's Seven Deadly Sins, but not the anime, so I don't know.
Huh. Okay.
I don't
Yeah, it's
know.
a Netflix thing. You
I don't
have
know.
it. It's there if you want it.
I do have it. I could go watch these shows
Mm,
or not.
yeah.
And right now, or not is kind of winning. So
Mm,
I don't know, but man, it is just it's different. I'm not gonna lie. Like it's one of those things where I'm kind of like, okay. So of all these streaming services, like right now, Hulu's like the one. If there was one to get rid of, Hulu's the one on the chopping block. But I still want my Spotify, so not
Spotify,
really.
yeah.
So it's kind of like
I mean, you still have the student account, so it's only $5 a month for
right.
two and a half streaming things. Like, even if you didn't have the student thing, it would be
Two and a
$10.
half.
2.5, you know.
I just caught that. Oh,
I
good.
think it's still only $10 for Hulu and Spotify. So like,
Yeah, still not
you
bad.
might as well keep it.
Yeah,
Amazon Prime is more than just a streaming service, so you kind of have to keep that around.
yeah. Disney Plus is still really good. I'm obviously not getting rid of it. And like Netflix, like admittedly, I don't even watch it a lot lately, but my parents have Netflix, so
Same.
I'm not
Yeah,
gonna. Obviously, I can't get rid of it. So
if they ever say like, hey, we want y'all to pay for Netflix, you want to keep it around, we'll be like, there's some comedy
would
specials out there I
probably-
might miss, but like, I don't know, I'll find a way to get it.
I don't know. Like now, it's kind of like. I mean, I don't know. I don't like. I kind of like having it just because Avatar's on there. If I ever want to
Yeah.
go back or show it to someone else, and like, I'm trying to think. There's something else on Netflix I might like. I don't know, but like, I feel like Netflix is that thing where it's like, there's always that one thing I'll forget about that I
Yeah.
like that's on there. If I got rid of it, and I'm like, oh no, I don't have.
The Castlevania anime is pretty good. I would miss that. Um, oh,
I think One
Transformers!
Punch
Dang it, Transformers: War for Cybertron. Next
See?
season's coming out next year.
See,
Okay.
can't do it. There's always
Can't do
that.
it.
There's always
There's always
one or two
something.
things where it's like, oh, I can get rid of Netflix. Like, can you though?
No.
They do just enough to stick around. Like they know.
Man,
They know.
if War for Cybertron was bad, and like, it almost is, but I love it, so I don't care. You know? Like if I wasn't a Transformers fan, I probably wouldn't be into it. Because I am, it hits me so hard. Like this is a show for you. I was like, I know, I gotta keep you.
It's like they know better. They know you're not gonna get it. They know. They know. They're like, yeah, don't. Who are you kidding?
Yeah, but now HBO Max is looking
There's a
just
lot
as
of-
enticing. Like there's at least two
It
shows
is.
on there.
I will admit, yeah, HBO Max kind of surprised me. I'm not gonna lie. I was kind of surprised that, like, yeah, I think if they do that, I'm
Yeah.
definitely gonna consider possibly getting it.
Yeah.
Am I actually gonna get it? Maybe not, because
Like I had always
pirating is
planned.
still a thing. But
Yeah, I'd always planned on doing the free trial at least when the Snyder Cut came out, but if that's before, if the Snyder Cut comes out after Young Justice season 4, I might just kind of keep it. I don't know.
That's right, Snyder Cut. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might need to. Yeah, I mean, I feel like at this point, just because everyone's gonna talk about, I have to at least watch it.
Yeah.
I don't have to like it, but I have to at least check it out. And because again, we could be wrong.
Could be.
We could
Could
be
be.
wrong. But then again, I always say this, I could also be right too. So
Are we probably
there's
right?
that.
Probably. Especially since
Probably.
we're
think
right
so.
about BVS being a bad movie, so like I don't think Justice League is gonna be good. Like whatever, that's a different discussion entirely.
That's what I'm saying. We'll get it.
Yeah.
We, we know we know how we feel. It's
Speaking of the Snyder
how
Cut
we
and
feel.
stuff, apparently Henry Cavill is rumored to have signed a 3-movie deal to return as Superman.
Okay. I mean, if one of those movies is that like Shazam Black Adam movie or whichever it is,
Yeah.
cool.
Sure. Like I could easily see Superman just kind of showing up in the after credits scene of Black Adam.
Yeah.
Or the Shazam 2 or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, or both. Like, who knows? But yeah, I think that'd be cool. I like how Henry Cavill looks as Superman. It's just the like character
Yeah.
that I feel is written incorrectly. But
I think I've said this before. I don't generally care about how a superhero looks on the big screen. Like as long as they generally have the same feel and have the same powers as their comic counterpart, or even just like similar powers. Like they don't even have to be the same at all. Just like as long as they have the same essence as their comic counterparts, they can look however they want.
yeah,
More accuracy is better, but you don't have to look exactly the same. There's something very, I don't know, there's just something that just kind of completes the look of Superman to me about the little hair twirl. The one little piece of hair on the front of his head that kind of like comes down and curls.
yeah,
There's just something about that that's just so at the core of Superman's character that like he is this perfect being, yet like he still allows his hair to do that, and like it's kind of, I don't know, I can't even really put into words exactly why I like it, but I do. So especially in BVS when he had his hair like up and kind of like combed back, it just didn't look right. It just I don't even know if it was necessarily because he didn't have the one hair curl, but like it just didn't. That was the one thing about him as Superman I didn't love. It was the way his hair looked.
okay.
Yeah, but
And
other
again,
than that,
yeah.
it's fine.
Yeah, and I think that has to have a lot to do with like just that's how it works. Like I mean, it's the essence of Superman. There's like I think that's like one of the most iconic things about Superman's look. Obviously, the symbol, the costume, but like yeah, the hair is a big part of it.
And I think he had.
So
it in
yeah, I
Man of
see your
Steel.
reason.
I think he had it, at least part of it in Man of Steel. I think.
Yeah, I think so. I don't totally remember. I'm not gonna lie.
I haven't seen
But-
that movie in forever, and I don't really care to watch it. So
Not
boring.
really, but not really. But it's interesting because like it's so like the character most of the time isn't like so it's most of the time it's like oh he looks so like wrong I can't even do the character. Like most of the time it's like as long as you can ballpark it,
Yeah.
it's fine. But it's like I mean I don't know because like I like the look, but yeah I guess the hair is one of the like trademark things that you resonate with Superman, so that makes sense.
Yeah, like there are so many. It's like a huge spectrum of people who care about the design of superheroes. Some people want it to be exactly like the comics. Some
Hmm.
people, like I, don't really care that much. Some people are like so far to this side of the spectrum. Like when Spider-Man showed up in Civil War, everyone was like, "The spider is too small. That's not Spider-Man."
Hmm.
I'm like, "Shut
Yeah.
up." The spider on his chest is
Yeah.
too small, even though there have literally been comics since the '60s where the spider is relatively small in his chest. So shut up. Like I don't.
Yeah, and it's kind of like I feel like those are like minimal detail. It's kind of like oh the costume looks different. It's like
I
well I
don't
mean
like
this is
the
a
eye zoom. Like in the comics, he squints all the time. So like that's just the visual representation of how they want that to look in the movies. Like
yeah.
what's what do you want?
Why is that such a big deal?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's also like like is that really that taking that much away to the overall story or anything like that?
No.
No, it's just like who cares? It's just him doing his thing. Let
Mm-hmm.
him go. But
Uh,
yeah, and it's also interesting because like or with anything, it'll be like, oh, Batman's belt is the wrong color, or like, or like, especially when like the movie is trying to do something different,
yeah.
very obviously,
Mm-hmm.
and then people are like, oh, this doesn't look like this, so I automatically hate it. And it's like, let it go, man. Like, it's like,
Doctor Strange isn't wearing his yellow gloves. I'm like, okay. He wore them in Thor Ragnarok and they looked fine, but like he doesn't need them. Hela doesn't look like Hela from the comics. Like, oh, like she looked good. Like it was a good design. Like she doesn't need to look exactly like that. I don't know.
nah, I don't know, man. Like it is what it is. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, everyone's got their opinions, but I don't know. Some of these things, it's kind of like I feel like you're just kind of fishing for stuff. It's like, come
Yeah.
on, like if you just don't like it, just own it. Don't just be
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, this totally
Yeah.
justifiable, but not really reason.
I don't love that Ben Affleck is taller than Henry Cavill. That's weird to me, especially since Zack Snyder specifically sought out Ben Affleck because he was an inch taller than Superman. That was weird. I feel like it's part of his character to, like, it's part of Superman's thing to just be tall. And Batman, yeah, he's a tall person, but he's not. It kind of diminishes Superman a little bit if Batman's taller than him. But whatever.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that he's trying to go for this, like, oh, I'm not intimidated by you. I'm taller than you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Maybe there's some kind of
But that's so childish. I don't know.
dude, I don't know, man. Like, Snyder's got his reasons, I guess, but good for
Sure.
him. Like, I don't like, and for me, height's one of those things in movies that I haven't really like doesn't really matter as long as it's not like, like an 8-inch difference. Like, I don't really care that much about
Yeah.
height in movies because it's like as long
Like,
as everyone, because I mean, you can do camera angles to make everyone look,
mm-hmm.
as taller than or shorter than or the same height as anyone else anyway. So it's like,
Exactly. Like none of the
who really
hobbits
cares?
from Lord of the Rings are 3 feet tall. Like they're all average height people.
Yeah, it's
Elijah
kind
was
of
like
like,
5'5" or something, but he's not that
yeah,
short. You know.
yeah. It's like, dude, we can make things happen. We can, stay
Yeah.
those stage shoes or whatever. Like,
Mm-hmm.
whatever you got to do, you can do whatever.
Yeah.
Like these
And,
days, like,
and it's hilarious. Like every single person who's ever seen the X-Men movies agrees that uh, Hugh Jackman is, perfect as Wolverine,
mm-hmm.
except for like 3 people who vehemently are like, no, he's too tall. Wolverine needs to be like 5'3". He cannot be taller than this. Like Henry Cavill, sorry,
Why does
Hugh
it
Jackman is too tall for this character. Like, okay, calm down.
Like, why does it matter? He plays the role amazingly. Like, why does it matter?
I I feel like if you wanted to get mad about them not never wearing the yellow spandex, then yeah, get mad. I don't really like the design they went with. I feel like the yellow spandex could have actually looked. They could have modernized it, looked fine. But I don't know. I feel like there are other issues in those movies to complain about other than the perfect actor playing this character not being tall enough, like, or not being too tall. Like, some people are just, I don't know. I don't know. So yeah, Henry Cavill coming back maybe is interesting. yeah, we'll see if that actually happens. I guess. I don't know what's going on. I don't know.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know. Right now they have some leeway because movies in general just kind of till further notice.
Yeah.
So
Plus, if Snyder Cut does do very well, then they can greenlit a real Superman 2 going up that
exactly.
timeline. And like I said before, the whole everything at what was it called? The DC
DC
fandom,
fandom.
yeah, kind of put all into perspective. Where like things that are bad are in a different timeline, things that are good are in a different timeline. Black Adam's in its own dimension. Like multiverse is real. Movies can just kind of happen, and I'm okay with that. So
Yeah. I mean, that's how real comic books are. So
exactly. So yeah, let's talk about Sony. PlayStation had their big event that had a big blowout of all their different games, prices, release date, everything. So we'll talk about the price and release stuff at the very end. But so I'm not going to go over every single game. That would take too long. Plus, we already saw most of these games, at least glimpses of them at a previous event, and like they showed new trailers of Resident Evil 8. There were a couple others they showed new trailers of that were at their last conference. So I'm not going to talk about those. I am going to start with the first announcement was the reveal of Final Fantasy 16.
Mm-hmm.
No release date, but that was expected.
Yeah.
But honestly, I am here for a new Final Fantasy game actually being a fantasy game again. The past several have been more like cyberpunk, sci-fi. The last one had a car in it. Like, it was just kind of weird.
Yeah, I think they're kind of trying to branch out a little bit, which I feel is very good. I feel like, because I feel like they have that. I feel like this is one of those series you can kind of do that.
Yeah.
You can very easily, like, just move around, I guess. Kind of like how Assassin's Creed does. They kind of just, any time period or any type of world they want to go to, let's go for it. Not to say that Final Fantasy goes off, like, real history or anything, but, like, just like, all right, let's do this one. They can go, like, let's do this one medieval, let's do this one this, let's do, let's just go for it. Like, why not? Yeah, and like, just change it up a little bit, and and it looks, I gotta admit, it looks pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
it is kind of hilarious. From the very first frame of this trailer, you could instantly tell it was a Final Fantasy game just by the look of the guy's face.
mm-hmm.
Modern Final Fantasy games have a very particular Square Enix face. Like, DreamWorks has the DreamWorks face. Final Fantasy has the Final Fantasy male protagonist face. Like, they all look the same.
Yeah, and like you can see it in his eyes too. Like the way he's looking at the fire is just like, here we go. Like every cloud, squall,
Noctis,
whoever. Yeah.
Noctis, like they all.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the combat, it's still the more like action RPG, which I think they're just gonna stick with, and I think that's fine. It apparently it seems to take a lot of elements from Final Fantasy 14, which for the longest time was deemed kind of not canon in the universe because it is an MMO, but now it seems like a lot of those elements are now canonized. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It looks fun. It was actually voice acted, which was very surprising because voice acting is generally one of the last things they do in a game. Still, don't expect it to come out before 2023.
What are you, 2025?
At least, yeah. Like, they're still working on Final Fantasy VII Part 2 and Part 3, so, like, they're not finishing that anytime soon. Like,
this is true. This is true. But still, I mean, but this is, like, it looks really good, and, and for a while it was kind of like, okay, where are they going to go with this? In the Final Fantasy world, because a lot of people are excited about the newer ones and like Final Fantasy VII Remake and all that stuff, but it's like, all right, so are they going to remake some of the old ones? Or are they just going to go for the new one? And they're like, okay, we're trying another one. And it's like, cool. And I know, like, my brother is a very, like, classic turn-based, like, die-hard Final Fantasy guy. And so, like, he hates the new, like, more, I guess, action RPG
Yeah.
style to it. But, like, I think for today's gamer, that's just, like, I don't think people are going to go for the old ways. So, like, I think that's staying
It
with that is good.
it depends on the game. Like Pokemon and Persona rock it, but if I think if either one of those series wanted to try an action, wanted to be an action RPG, I think they could get away with it. Maybe not Pokemon since it is a party system. I don't know, but whatever. Yeah, Final Fantasy for the past 10 plus years, ever since 12 maybe, no 13. Yeah, ever since 13 they've been more action RPG, and I think
Yeah, I think it's yeah.
they've been rocking it just fine. So, uh, I I I hope they do similarly with Final Fantasy VII, where Seven Remake had a option where you could do turn based, didn't it?
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
yeah. So I haven't seen. My brother just bought the game like
Mm.
a few days ago. We didn't see, but he didn't put it on the classic mode because it sound like the way the description, like when you're picking difficulties, sounded. It was kind of like it made it sound like it was easy, but
Uh,
also kind of turn based. And he's like, "Well, I'm not going to do easy because like
yeah.
you know." So he just put it on the normal. But like so far, like it looked a lot of fun. Like I didn't play it myself, but I was watching him, and he looked like he was having fun. And like there's still like I guess role playing kind of strategies in it. Like you can just kind of like mindlessly, I guess, slash,
Hmm.
tap X to win, so to speak.
Yeah.
But but even like the first boss, you could already tell it's like that is not gonna work like going
Hmm.
down the road because like the first boss, that was the longest first boss I have seen in like any game. I don't know if he just wasn't doing it right, but that was
Uh,
like a 25-minute first boss. I was like, dude. But yeah, I think if they had a mode, like if they continue to have a mode for the more like traditional players, but I think it's definitely better if they
oh yeah.
kind of move to this more, yeah, for the game and for the exposure as well. Just
Mm. Yeah, I'm fully expecting them to get at least Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2 out before 16 comes out, which makes me even more confused as to why they even went ahead and announced this, since I don't think it's coming out soon.
mm,
At, but still, cool that it exists, I guess.
just add hype for PS5 because you got to do that.
Yeah, that's fair. That yeah, it was the right game to start the conference with. Like you want to have a good game to start and end with. So having
Mm,
Final Fantasy 16 be the big starting point, and then ending the trailer saying exclusive to PS5. That's also that's also fantastic for them. Even if it's a tiny exclusive thing like Seven, it's still you still want that in your press conference. Like this game is going to be exclusive. If you want Final Fantasy, you come to PlayStation.
right.
Yeah. Um, Next up, they had the first gameplay demo of Miles Morales Spider-Man,
Hmm.
and yeah, it looks good. More Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like Spider-Man, but obviously there's some new powers kind of just thrown in, which
Yep.
again, like, obviously, it looks kind of cool. I'm like, oh, cool, they can just do that. So like,
Yeah. Turn
yeah, I'm
invisible, shock
excited.
people. Yeah, it's good.
Right. Yeah, and I'm excited because it's like, oh, this looks good. But then it's like, I, I feel bad saying it's like it wasn't enough for me to be like, I need a PS5, if that makes sense.
That's actually a good thing because Miles Morales is still coming to PS4.
And that is all I needed to know.
Mm-hmm.
I actually didn't know that. Is it really?
Yeah, there's actually. No, I might as well bring this up now. So, for the longest time, PlayStation was like, "We believe in generations." After Ghost of Tsushima, every first-party game will come to only the PS5 and not PS4. And then, just a press conference. It wasn't in the actual, sorry, in the press release. It wasn't in the conference, but it was in like a just like something that only went out to the media. They announced that Spider-Man and Miles Morales, Sackboy: A Big Adventure, whatever. It's a asymmetrical 3D platformer based in the Little Big Planet universe. Not a big deal. And also Horizon Forbidden West are all coming to PS4 as well.
Boom.
Which is insane because I figured Horizon Forbidden West was like the showpiece game of the PS5, and like that would show, like, use all the power of the PS5, and like I don't know, that it's weird how that game, which is coming out next year, is going to also be on PS4, but cool. It's cool that they're getting it. And Miles Morales especially makes sense for PS4 since it is just the same engine as, Spider-Man PS4.
Mm-hmm.
So it would honestly be it would have honestly been a little weird if they just didn't get it on PlayStation 4. Like, it's not even a modified engine, it's just the same engine. So yeah, it's cool that you don't even need to get one yet.
It makes me very happy.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the wording was a little weird with how exactly Spider-Man upgrading to PS5 works. Apparently, if you have Spider-Man and Miles Morales on PS4, you can't get the PS5 version working on PS5 unless you buy the definitive edition of Spider-Man PS4, which comes with Miles Morales and a key to upgrade it if you wanted to.
What?
I tried my best. I tried my best.
I don't blame you because I feel like this was just overly complicated. But so wait, you can't. So if you have it on PS4, you can't put it on PS5 unless you have some kind of key.
You can. So if you bought a PS5, the one with the disc drive, because the discless one you can't do this. But if you
Right.
bought a PS5 next year and wanted to play the Spider-Man 2018 on PS5, you could do that. You could play Spider-Man PS4 on your PS5, but you would not be playing the Spider-Man PS5 version on your PS5. You would just be playing the version that you wouldn't get any of like the upgrades and like better graphics and logo time and stuff. You would just be getting the PS4 experience. But
okay, that makes sense.
Yes, but if you bought the definitive edition of Spider-Man that's going to come out this holiday, that's going to have with Spider-Man and Miles Morales bundled in one for like $80, I think. That version, if you play it on PS5, it'll like recognize, oh, this is like the PS5 one, so it'll work, I think.
Okay. So I think I got it. Which that makes sense because you can't just be like, oh yeah, because again, backwards compatibility. You can't be like, oh yeah, Spider-Man PS4 on PS5. Let me get all the upgrades and stuff with it. That makes sense.
So yeah, they could have explained that a little better, but yeah, regardless, it's cool that you don't need a PS5 yet, which I think was interesting of them, since Miles Morales seems to be the big launch game.
Yeah.
But whatever.
I'm not complaining because that just means I can buy it now.
So the next big game is an interesting one for a couple reasons. Hogwarts Legacy, a game where set in the Harry Potter universe. You get sorted into different houses, and you go on adventures around Hogwarts or outside in the Forbidden Woods, or etc. Like, to be this grand adventure happening, like conspiracy happening outside the castle, so you had to go other places. Like, it looked pretty much like what a Harry Potter game should look like. It just kind of sucks that J.K. Rowling sucks, like, and like everyone in the comment sections and all the people who have talked about this game, like, I get it. I understand completely. I want to hear thoughts about this. I understand completely that the stuff that J.K. Rowling has done and continues to do on Twitter and with the books she's chosen to write after all this has happened just is kind of awful and blatantly awful. So, like, I get that, but I feel like you shouldn't boycott the game not that she doesn't have involvement in. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, I see your point, and it kind of feels like you're taking a stand, but it's not towards what you're taking a stand against, if that makes sense.
Yes.
It's kind of like, yeah, it's like, yes, this is Harry Potter, but it's like, you're not taking a stand against Harry Potter. You're taking a stand against J.K. Rowling, which obviously creator and all that, but like, there's a difference.
Yeah, it would be one thing if J.K. Rowling had heavy influence on the game, or if she didn't have any influence and the game still had, like, you know, some racist or transphobic tendencies in it, akin to the stuff that she has been talking about. Like, if that stuff was in there, then yeah, sure, you can boycott it all you want based on what the game itself is saying and doing. But if that is not in there, it's just unfortunate that these people have been working on this game for 4 years, and like well before J.K. Rowling started any of this tirade on Twitter. I think she started this like late 2018, I think, or at least publicly started. So they've been working on this game since like 2017 at least, and there's no good time to announce and release this because it seems like every month or so she says something else or does something else. So like there's no good time to do it. So just, I don't know. Like they're like, this is the absolute last moment we had to announce it. Like it's a big Sony event. Like we needed to get it out now. It's a bad timing, but there's no good timing with her. So it's unfortunate.
Yeah, and the thing too is like, because it's Harry Potter, one of the biggest movie series and book series like there is.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, granted, you know, it's like the situation with everything going on, but it's like, you know, this is something that's probably like, this is huge. Like, you know, in this game, and again, not directly involved with, you know, she's not directly involved with it. It's kind of its own thing. Obviously, it uses, you know, the ideas and everything from her work, but it's not like this is her production.
Yeah.
And it's really like you're punishing the wrong people, so to speak.
And I don't even know if supporting this game to like spite her would really matter, since the way the video game industry works, like especially with big studios, I don't really know exactly how the culture at WB Games works, since I think it's under them. I'm not sure exactly how that works, but if this were EA, assuming this were an EA game, more than likely all these people who are making this Harry Potter game would just get laid off after this game came out anyway. So like it wouldn't really supporting the game wouldn't really support them anyway. But I'm not entirely sure if that's the case for WB Games. That's just kind of
But it could be.
It's kind of the culture. But I'm not like, do whatever you want. Like I personally feel like if I had a PS5 or Xbox or whatever, like I wouldn't not buy it just because the creator of the franchise it's based on sucks. That just doesn't sit right with me.
Yeah. And again, it kind of goes back to that punishing the wrong people, or like I understand your reasoning, but how you're going about it isn't like effective, I guess.
Yeah.
Or it kind of feels misguided.
I don't know. Like, I hope it's at least a decent game. If it's bad...
It looks really good.
Yeah, if it's bad, then people boycott it for that reason also. Like, sure, whatever. I just hope it's at least decent so that people who are on the fence because of, you know, reasons, like, they might at least try it out. I don't know. It still has a year before it's going to come out, so... It's in an interesting place that I'm sure when they started development they didn't think they would be in. So yeah. Moving on, the Demon Souls remake is gonna be at launch. That one's not gonna be on PS4, so that's like the big PS5 game.
Right.
So also on PC, but we already knew that. So yeah. So cool. Like people are super hyped for that game. Great. So you remember the last PS5 event? It started with like a 5 minute GTA 5
Mm-hmm.
trailer thing that was just like the
There.
story.
Yeah.
Even though every single person on the planet has played GTA 5 on the PS3 and then PS4, and it was like, now it's coming to PS5 with a new campaign or whatever, or like new online mode or whatever it is.
Make
So
a new one.
yeah, what Fortnite did in this presentation is what GTA 5 should have done there. It was like a 1 minute trailer, just like highlights of the game. Like it's gonna be on PS5. Here you go. Like it was like less like a minute maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's all we need to know. You've already played it. We already knew it was gonna be there. Like we could all like. It's not even that big of a deal when CD Projekt Red announced that The Witcher 3 is coming to PS5 as well. Like they just released it on Twitter. Hey, this is coming, and like a couple other big games said they're coming to PS5. Like why? I'm honestly kind of surprised that Blizzard hasn't announced. Sorry, not Blizzard. Bethesda hasn't announced that Skyrim isn't going to come to PS5. It's going to be there. That and Resident Evil 4 are absolutely going to be on PS5 at some point. Just go ahead and announce it. Just do it.
I mean, why not? There's no reason not to.
Yeah, there's no point wasting time during a presentation. Like we all know it's coming. But whatever. I just found it funny, like watching this Fortnite minute-long trailer, being like, that was the right amount of time for that type of game. Like, yeah. So then, PlayStation announced something that I don't think is getting talked about enough. Maybe it's because there's not enough information on it. Maybe I misunderstood what exactly is going on here. But I feel if this is what the face value seems like it is, Xbox people need to be sweating a little bit because they announced PlayStation Plus Collection, which, from what I gathered, as long as you just have PlayStation Plus, you can essentially play any first-party and select third-party games that were on the PS4.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. It was kind of worded, as EA or not EA, as Sony does a lot of times. It was worded kind of vaguely. I feel on purpose.
Yeah.
To kind of maybe get your hopes, because even the backwards compatibility thing for the longest time was kind of like yes, like, but also no.
We've tested 400 PS4 games, and the vast majority of them will be on PS5. Like, what is the majority? Why can't you get all of them? Like, what is
it's like it's kind of like, oh, some of them. I'm like, first of all, which ones? And second of all, why not just all of them? How hard is that? Like, again, it might be kind of difficult, but like, it should, like, and the thing is, it's not like this is the first time backwards compatibility has ever been done. Like, you literally did this, like, almost 10 years ago?
We've been doing this since the PS2, yeah.
Yeah, like, I mean, this has been a thing for a long time.
Well,
so that's kind of what everyone's kind of...
With the Game Boy Color, that's kind of questionable whether or not the Game Boy Color is actually a different generation. So it definitely started with the Game Boy Advance. So
right. But even that's Nintendo, so you could be like, oh well, different. But like, no, literally Sony, literally PlayStation has done this years ago. I have a PlayStation 2. I still play PlayStation 1 games on. This has been a thing for 20 years.
20 years.
And it's kind of like, and I understand, like, video games obviously are bigger. There's more data. There's more stuff to it, obviously. But at the same time, it's kind of like, I feel like you're kind of just not doing this.
Yeah.
Or, like, being, like, you're choosing against it. Like, it's not, because, like, that was the thing about PS3 for a lot of people. It was kind of like, it feels like they just chose not to.
Yeah, like the initial launch of the PS3 had it where you could play PS1 and 2 games, and then like the PS3 Slim came out, and that couldn't. Yeah, I don't think that could have backwards compatibility. So like,
right.
Yeah, always been a little weird. Not always, but ever since the PS3, they've been a little weird with how exactly their backwards compatibility works. So them being a little coy with how exactly the PlayStation Plus collection will work is kind of on brand. The main thing that Xbox has over them right now is that yes, it is an extra cost. I think it's $20 a month as opposed to PlayStation Collection being free with PS Plus. For Game Pass, you also get new games. Like you'll be able to play Halo Infinite day one if you have Game Pass.
Mm-hmm.
The PlayStation Collection is only last gen games.
Right.
So, which is still a huge deal, but it's not like the value isn't as much, but it is free, so it's an answer, but it's not a perfect answer, but it's still a huge deal. Like being able to play Batman Arkham Knight just essentially for free on PlayStation 5 is pretty cool.
Yeah, and here's a list, and right now this is just the list, but like there, Batman, Battlefield 1, Bloodborne, Detroit Become Human, Fallout 4, God of War, PS4, Final Fantasy 15, Mortal Kombat, Persona 5. Like there's, there are games on there, but the thing is kind of like if it's gonna be just a handful or like, oh, these top 20.
Yeah.
Like, kind of, it's going to be like, you might as well not have done it.
Yeah.
And
it's weird that it's just Persona 5 and not Persona 5 Royal, which was like the complete edition that came out earlier this year. So, yeah, like they're not even going to have the best version of any. Like, it's weird. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, this seems like it very much was thrown together, even though it didn't need, like, they could have done this a lot better,
yeah.
I feel.
I have a feeling this is going to essentially replace the like PlayStation Plus Game of the Month type thing, since you just have all these games for free anyway, which I think is
fun. Yeah, and really, that PlayStation like Game of the Month thing is kind of dumb because like, I mean,
it's always like one huge like God of War and Pro Evolution Soccer. Like why are those two or like The Last of Us and Monster Energy Energy Motocross. Like what why do you even bother putting Monster Energy Motocross on there?
Or better yet, why was it just already there? And it stinks because too there's like a lot of times there'll be free games, but then it's like, oh, it's free, but you have to have PlayStation Plus. But it's like this game in real life doesn't even need it.
Yeah.
But you have to have it, and it's like, well, that's not even just like what that doesn't even make sense.
Right.
Like,
I don't know.
Like I just want to play offline. Why do I need PlayStation Plus? It's like, oh, I don't want PlayStation Plus is for online play. I just want to play offline. Okay, that's fine. But you still need PlayStation Plus. It's like when they like ask for your credit card information, but it's free, and it's like
what are you hiding?
Yeah, it's like I feel there is a trap here. I'm going to disengage. Like I don't trust this. Like nah, dude, and like I don't know, but again, I think they could potentially do a lot with this if they expand the list a great deal. But like right now, because honestly, if they could, I don't know why they haven't. I mean, maybe they can't, or maybe they don't know how, or something's going. But like, if they could do what Xbox has done with just like, boom, pretty much any game, you got it on here. Like it's over. You know what I'm saying?
Especially for the discless version, which I personally think looks more appealing.
Yeah.
Like, if I was able to just pay a monthly fee to get the God of War Ragnarok, which we'll talk about in a second. Like, if I was able to get God of War Ragnarok day one on top of all these other great games for $20 a month, like that's a good deal.
Right? It kind of goes back to the streaming conversation we had earlier. It's like, why would I pay $60 for just this one game when for, X amount a month, I can get the new games and have, like, all these other games.
Exactly.
Especially
it's like, when it is $20 a month when games are $60. So, like, that's... I don't know. I don't know. That's too good of a deal. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying, too. Like... And that's kind of my thing. I feel like that's not enough because, like, really, if you think about it, I mean, that's the price of buying a new game every 3 months.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like, I don't know about a lot of it, but like, I don't even buy new games. Like, I buy like 5 games a year if they're brand new, maybe. Like, if I buy a game the day it comes out, it has to be a game I've been waiting on.
But if you're already paying $20 a month to play every game in the back catalog, then, actually, maybe that would even out to you actually spending more over time on Game Pass than you would spending, 4 or 5
This
games.
is true, but the thing is, and like, I think the amount of money eventually would catch up, but also I would get my money's worth though.
Yeah.
Because you have access to all these games, so it's not like I get tired of it. Like, there's, if they have this whole library, like, you'll be fine, and that's kind of, and like, really, it could be in a way that everyone wins.
Yeah.
Which, again, that works for me. That's great. So let's do that, but we'll see.
So yeah, it's very interesting that they do have a answer to an extent to Xbox Game Pass. Maybe they'll implement that in the future for an additional cost, but we'll see. And then they close the conference, like I said earlier, with God of War Ragnarok, which is the sequel to God of War 2018. It's gonna be good. Like, God of War, it's not like the original God of Wars that came out on the PS2 and PS3, but it was still a great story, great action, great voice acting, just
epic.
Yeah. And with the word Ragnarok next to it, like, it's gonna be good. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be funny. The day after this, or like the day of and the day after this press conference happened, on Twitter you can like certain what are they called, topics, and your feed will be filled up with stuff like that, or on your Explore page you can, like, I have Nintendo, DC, Marvel, etc. Like, I've liked the different topics. I have a video game topic liked, but then under the Marvel one, a couple of God of War Ragnarok tweets got in there as well. I'm like, that's funny. Like, God of War Ragnarok is in my Marvel thing. Like, I know why, but it's still funny.
It's hype, man. And I was like, this is gonna be hype. It sounds like, I think, and that's like Ragnarok, and also like kind of like the same effect that like Valhalla has with Assassin's Creed. It's kind of just one of those things where it's just like, you get goosebumps just when you hear like the title, and it's kind of like, this game's gonna rock.
Ragnarok.
Oh dear. Oh.
But yeah, like, I think God of War was the game of the year in 2018, so yeah, this gotta be good. So now, for the release date and the price of this game, of this system, it will be released in, I believe, Japan, Europe, and America, the Americas, on November 12th, and then I think November 19th for the rest of the world. It'll be $4.99 for the disc console, and then $3.99 for the discless one, which is about what people were expecting. Do you think that's a good price?
Yeah, I think that's okay, because again, I don't think it's enough where it's like, ooh, that's a deal or anything like that. But I think it's an okay price. I don't think it's like terrible, and it's the same as the Xbox Series X, I believe, right?
Yes, $499 is the same as the Series X. The Series S is $299, but it's less powerful than because the PS5 discless one, I believe, isn't lacking any power. It's just lacking the disc drive,
right?
Which makes me wonder what it is about the PS5 that just having the disc drive, is that $100 disc drive? I don't know.
I mean, to be fair, if I was gonna buy one, I had to buy the disc drive because, and also maybe that's kind of their plug for backwards compatibility for people who have the physical games.
Yeah, I think there is like an extra chip in there somewhere for PS4 games, or I think that's how that works. So I guess that chip also costs money. So it's going to be interesting seeing if $399 is enough for people on the fence to, if they care more about price or if they care more about power. Because, like I said before, $299 for a discless Xbox Series whatever, that's still gonna be plenty powerful. And if you pay $20 a month to play whatever game you want on there, will that be more enticing than a just as powerful as the PS5 discless version that you can play all the PS4 games you want basically for free with PS Plus? Like but it'll be $100 more. Like which will be more enticing? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, overall, I don't know. I don't know. I'm one of those people who just needs to have the physical disc. I don't trust digital just because I know somehow, some way, it's gonna get hacked or locked out, or I'm gonna lose
especially
something.
with PlayStation, who's kind of notorious for getting hacked all the time.
Exactly. So like I'm not about to because that's gonna happen at least once. So I'm like, no, I want to have my games. And PlayStation, like, first of all, so they have a horrible customer service. Like, bro, so like I'm not about to go down there and call like, hey, all my games got hacked, and be like, your call is very important to us, and they play the like, No. But I mean, but again, back to I had an experience. I had to go buys one online game. Swear to God, no, I'm just kidding. But honestly, I kind of like that. First of all, they didn't go over budget with the price, because really 500 was kind of like
that's
the line for me. Yeah, because it was kind of like, if it's more than that, I'm like, it's probably not worth it. But again, not that I'm gonna go buy it by any means at launch, but I think I'm more open to buying it later. I guess maybe in a year or two or so. We'll see, depending on how other games come out. But honestly, I was kind of surprised that, I know that we were talking about like the digital one was probably only going to be $100 less, but honestly, I kind of feel like it should be like, I thought it was going to be more, honestly, like the digital one. I thought it was, because like
$450
not like $400 is a little amount of money. That's kind of like, if it's all like a lot of I didn't realize, but a lot of people just don't have physical disc anymore.
Yeah,
like a lot of people just have games already downloaded. So it's kind of like, I feel like this. I know this is kind of the first time that's really happened with a whole console dedicated to it, but like, I feel like that's gonna be bought a lot more than I originally thought it was.
Yeah, like the main reason people nowadays, like gamers nowadays, would buy the disc one is A, for backwards compatibility, and B, to play movies and stuff on it.
Right.
Assuming you still have physical movies and you're not just using Netflix. So, like, you could easily get by with just having the discless one because of PlayStation Collection and Netflix and other streaming services doing it for you. But you still have to pay for those. You wouldn't have to pay to play a movie you already have. So,
Right. But again, right. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
No, go. I was done.
No, but no, it's like that. But again, these days, who physical movies again, like who really buys those between Netflix, Disney Plus, Hulu, etc. And also, and like if this PlayStation Collection thing does end up being a big hit, like, yeah, physical games won't really need to be a thing, which I'm hoping will make them less expensive for me. But we'll see.
About that.
Yeah.
Sony confirmed that first-party games going forward are gonna be $70.
Awesome. Great. Great. Games just keep getting more expensive, dude. I don't understand it.
I guess it was inevitable. Like, inflation has happened since because games have been $60 since 2005. Like, really? Yeah, like the Xbox 360 was the first system to have $60 be the
Okay.
standard, or at least like once a standard was set. I think in like late '90s, a standard was set to have games be 50. Um, then in 2005, games were 60, but Wii games were still 50 until the Wii U, and now games have already been 60. So I guess, it's past due for games to be 70, but I still don't like it.
Seriously. But yeah, it makes sense. It had to happen, and we can't really complain because it's just how video games work. They just get more and more expensive. But
Like, these games are getting bigger, the graphics are getting better, the studio itself is getting bigger. They gotta, hire more people. It's like I get it, but yeah, I don't know. That's especially for, I don't know if Sackboy: A Big Adventure is gonna be 70, but if Sackboy: A Big Adventure is 70, that's dumb. Like Horizon Forbidden West, that could be 70. Sure, that game looks huge.
right.
But Sackboy, no.
I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, if they can keep charging, full price for these same sports games every year, even though most of them, oh my god, trash or just the same
Yeah.
game, like they can justify anything, man.
And
Like, who
sports
the hell?
games now also said they're going to be 70, so
Exactly.
ugh. You had to pay extra for those
Which
sweat physics, I guess.
I know, yeah, no, no, those terrible physics. Like they're not even like, oh my gosh, no. It won't. It's
Whatever.
fine.
So,
It's fine. I wasn't gonna buy it anyway. It's fine.
yeah. so, so yeah, like the system is about the price you would expect. Games are gonna be more expensive, but like that was to be expected. Like Xbox has the money. Yeah, they they're gonna have a time this holiday. Like if PS Plus collection does turn out to be as good as it's saying it will be, like it's gonna be a battle. Like until, if PlayStation Plus collection wasn't in the conversation, I would say for sure Xbox currently has the upper hand, especially with a cheaper possibility and $20 a month to play everything. But $3.99 plus PlayStation collection, that could do it for a lot of people.
hmm
Yeah.
We'll see though. But yeah, if this PlayStation Action takes off, man, I'm telling, or collection, not connection.
Mm.
But if this takes off, that will be amazing.
Yeah.
I'm very excited, but hopeful.
So, time to finish up with Nerd Clash. So, today we're going to do a fun one. What game do you think will release first? Final Fantasy 16 or Elder Scrolls 6? Keep in mind, Elder Scrolls 6 was announced in I believe it was 2018. Is it 18 or 19? No, yeah, it was 2018.
I think it's like, yeah. Hold on. Oh, hold on. Let me, because this is a meme at this point. Hang on,
Yeah.
like this has been around. Okay, so I like how the first result is Elder Scrolls 6 ever coming out.
The answer is no.
It's supposed to reach sometime early 2020. Well, that didn't happen.
That was never
Okay.
in the conversation, because they specifically said that Elder Scrolls 6 was going to be their game after their next game, which was going to be Starfield. At Bethesda 2018 press conference, they had a like, here's our next game, Starfield, and it was just a kind of starry background with just a JPEG of the word Starfield, like maybe a ship flew by or something. It was nothing. And I was like, well, to keep you even more enticed, here's the game we're gonna announce after that. It was like a mountainous, Lord of the Rings style, shot, and then Elder Scrolls 6, and it's another JPEG of the name of the game. Apparently, and that's the game that's going to come out after the game that was also just a JPEG. Like, how does that check out?
And see, and this is my thing. Like, again, I know Square Enix has like the reputation for taking like decades, literally, to make video games. However, I mean, with like obviously, the trailer we got wasn't just like a little teaser. Like there's actual like somewhat
Yeah.
stuff been seen. So there's more. There's some kind of game name, and
Yeah.
also with the recent success of what the Final Fantasy games kind of coming back again. This Avengers game not super
It's
enticing
still
to a lot of
selling
people.
well, but it's not blowing up the internet like they're hoping for. Probably.
Yeah,
It's
it's
probably going to
not
be a bigger deal
breaking.
when Spider-Man comes to it, but right now it's not
Be
really
bigger,
lining up the
but
charts. Yeah.
yeah, but again, again, still a game that was like, hey, we're gonna make this, and actually was made.
Mm-hmm.
So like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Right now, I feel like I'm on like the Final Fantasy side just because
Yeah.
we kind of see something.
Yeah. And
I
like
mean, what was I mean?
I'm kind of thinking back to FF7. Final Fantasy 7 remake was announced in 2015. Literally all we
Right.
got was like a pan down shot of Cloud walking through a crowd, cut to black, remake. That's all we had. No talking, no action
No,
scene, no
nothing.
nothing. Some music and then again a JPEG or just the word remake. And that came out 5 years after. Actually, we got the first gameplay of that 2 years after, and then 3 years after that, we finally got the game. So the fact that we actually
So,
have a real trailer with voice acting, with a subtitle, like
hmm
with a logo and everything already made, like, yeah,
yeah. I mean, you even said by the time they have voice acting, it's pretty much a done
there,
deal. So,
there is a chance that there actually have been. I can't think of any times right now, but there have been documented cases of VO being done specifically to make a trailer, and then that VO not actually being even in the game. Uh, I think it was one of the Kingdom Hearts trailers. I think it was like the first one from 2013. There was like it was like
honestly, yeah,
very
I
dialogue
think
heavy,
I do remember that.
and then none of that dialogue was actually in the game that released 6 years later. Like it was, I think it was something like that.
That yeah, that sounds about right. That is, and see if they're yeah, of course the company to do it. You already know,
Yeah.
so we'll
So
see.
it's very
But
possible none of that could actually be in the game, and it comes out 5 years from now, and it to be a different game
mhm.
entirely. I don't know.
Oh my gosh, that would
Especially,
be
but
horrible.
also FF7 Remake Part Two hasn't come out yet either,
Yeah, that's true.
and they said that's pretty deep in development.
That is true. I don't know, but hmm, I don't know. Well, okay, but still, we have gotten what nothing from the Elder
They
Scrolls
haven't
6.
mentioned either Starfield or Elder Scrolls Six
They haven't
since
even mentioned the
2018.
predecessor game. Come on, like, come on. I mean,
They
can
haven't
we
mentioned
really be
Starfield
having
in
this?
2 years since we saw a JPEG of it existing. That game's not coming out until at least 2022. Like, I don't.
There's no way. I mean,
I think we might see Starfield before 16, but yeah, Elder Scrolls 6 is absolutely 2025 at the earliest.
there's there is no way, bro. I'm sorry. Like,
like, like the next
like
time we see anything on Elder Scrolls 6, it'll just be a prettier JPEG of the same, maybe a subtitle, and that's it. Yeah, I don't know.
there's no way. But I mean, nah,
No,
they can't.
no.
They it won't happen. It won't. Like, there's the potential to maybe potentially, but like more than likely, nah,
Yeah.
no way.
So it's gonna be hilarious when Final Fantasy 16 was announced 2 years after Elder Scrolls 6, and Final Fantasy 16 is gonna come out
Of all
before.
games,
Okay.
of all games,
Yep.
this was the one to be like, yeah.
Mm. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure both games are gonna be very good. It's just funny how both of them are notorious for. Because if Elder Scrolls 6 comes out in 2025, it would be 14 years since Elder Scrolls 5.
14.
Elder Scrolls Skyrim came out in 2011.
Yeah, it has been out for a long. See, this is what I'm talking about. Like, there's no. It's at this point. I think Egypt. Like, I would not expect anything from them.
Yeah, like next year they're gonna release the 10-year anniversary Skyrim collection for next gen systems, and then nothing for 3 more years.
Yep. And again, they don't really have to because it's Skyrim.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, let's be honest. We've been on GTA 5 for how long now? I mean,
Since 2013.
right. You know, it's like it's like some games you just don't need to, like, they just like, do we really need to make a new one?
No.
And honestly, no.
They didn't even need to make Red Dead 2. They did though.
I'm saying, but they did anyway, just in case.
Oh.
And now they can wait 10 years and then, maybe tease a Red Dead 3 that doesn't come out till 20 years. But, but they actually make their games on time, so we'll
Actually,
see.
I think Red Dead 2 had a 2-year. It was supposed to come out in 2018 and got delayed 2019. No. Sorry, it got to come out in 2017 and got delayed to 2018. But it was announced in 2016. Actually, the same day the Switch was announced, funnily enough. So, yeah, October 22nd, 2018. Sorry, 2016. Yeah, October 22nd, 2016. So, that's, yeah. So, yeah, that had... Which 2 years for a game isn't that weird, like, generally speaking. Like, delays happen. So, 2 years from time of announcement isn't that weird. But we're already 2 years out from both Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6. Nothing. So, I don't know. So, yeah. Is there anything else you want to bring up or discuss?
That's all I've got for today.
Okay. Sounds good. And with that, we'll see you all next time.
Take care, guys.